We have just what the doctor ordered tonight as the leader of the 50 Million Pound Challenge. Joins us tonight with his new book, The 4-Day Diet. You've seen him on BET's Meet the Faith, VH1's Celebrity Fit Club. He's the author of The Fat Smash Diet and the new reigning king of the fitness world. Joining us from Studio C is my new trainer, Dr. Ian Smith. How you doing?
Good, Gerard. Thanks for having me.
Oh, man, we appreciate you. See, you didn't know that you were my new trainer already. I didn't even ask you.
You know what? Hey, it's live TV, right?
Absolutely. Hey, Dr. Smith, talk to me about the 4-day diet. Impossible, man. You can't do it. Give us some details on this diet.
Sure. The reason why it's called the 4-day diet is because the #1 reason why people fail diet programs, they get tired of eating the same food all the time. They get bored with the same food. The compliance rate goes down. So the 4-day diet is a program that every 4 days you change what you eat. You change your cuisine. Sometimes fruits and vegetables, sometimes lean protein, sometimes seafood. The idea, Gerard, is variety. You need variety to get people to stick to your program. Now, the second reason is by switching these foods, you can keep your metabolism high. And that, of course, helps to burn the calories off. So that's why we call it the 4-day diet.
Now, you mentioned in the book that dieting is 80% mental and 20% physical. Now, isn't it the opposite, doctor?
No, that's what everyone thinks. Intuitively, you think that. However, here's the deal. If your mind is not in the right place, then your body is not going to follow. So here's the key. You need to learn how to find your motivation, how to stay motivated. How do you resist temptation late at night when you want to have those snacks? It's all about mental. You could have the best diet plan in the world, but if you are not mentally in the right place, it doesn't matter. So with the 4-day diet, you're really getting 2 books in one. First half of the book, all about the mind. Second half, the actual 4-day diet.
And I think so often diet books focus just on the physical, and then people go into that yo-yo mode, and then they end up being even bigger than they were when they started the first, second, or the third diet.
Absolutely. And you know what people do quite often? They set unrealistic goals. For example, they'll say to me, hey, Dr. Ian, I want to lose 30 pounds in 2 months. It's unrealistic. And because they set these unrealistic goals, when they don't meet these goals, they get discouraged and think that the diet is bad. It's not the diet, it's that their expectations are too high. So in the chapter 2 of the 4-day diet, I teach you how do you set goals? How do you know what's realistic to lose? And how do you know what's ambitious when you're trying to lose the weight?
Yeah, that's for real. I'm looking at the book as well. You talk about the detox cleansing stage, but I want to skip over to the transition, reintroducing yourself to all food groups. Come on, Dr. Smith. We learned this in elementary school. Why do we need to be reintroduced?
Because we keep getting bigger and bigger. I mean, obesity is, listen, Gerard, this is the first time ever, 3 weeks ago they announced that there are more obese Americans than there are those who are merely overweight. This is why we do transition. I want people to learn that you can still have tasty, healthy foods on a diet, yet it doesn't have to taste like diet food. It doesn't have to feel like you're on a diet. I wish I could call it the 4-day lifestyle, but lifestyle wouldn't fit on the jacket because my idea is this. I want you to go to the grocery store and buy regular, inexpensive foods. I don't want you to count calories. And guess what? On this program, you can have pizza sometimes and a burger and bacon. You know why? Because we cannot expect people to live the rest of their life and not indulge in some of these comfort foods. But I teach you how to do it in a healthy way and to lose weight at the same time.
Dr. Smith, I'm the king, man, of comfort foods, man. I'm going to let you know of all my little secrets tonight of how I have been having a growing gut since I graduated from college. But you know what? Give us some myths about the healthy dinners that people eat. I mean, we pick these out of our freezer, we microwave them, but I see that they're still heavy in, and I've got a little tag here, I see they're still heavy in sodium, and the carbohydrates and the proteins basically don't add up. Why are some of these meals not good for us?
Well, because you have to be careful of the sodium. Excessive sodium leads to water retention. If you are someone who is prone to hypertension or high blood pressure, that also is a problem. So weight gain and high blood pressure could be affected by having too much sodium. The second thing is this. Protein is important. Why? Because protein is harder to digest. Because it's harder to digest, it means it requires more energy, therefore you burn more calories. So you need to make sure you have the right protein levels inside of your food. Lastly, the carbs. There's such a thing as good carbs and bad carbs. I don't believe in telling people no carbs. Come on, let's be realistic.
Yeah.
There are good carbs. Complex carbohydrates are great, but a lot of these foods have those simple sugars that are not good for you. And what do? They end up being converted into fat when you don't use them with energy.
You know, doctor, you just answered one of the questions that one of my blog commenters mentioned earlier, but I want to go to this question. It's from Karen. She says, I'm 5'11", 290 pounds, recently diagnosed with non-insulin diabetes and have bilateral heel spurs, and I was denied as a candidate for a gastric ban. At 47 years old, my weight continues to creep up. What can I do? So it's obvious here that she cannot get on a treadmill. Give her some options, Dr. Ian
Absolutely.
Smith.
The first thing to do is you have to be patient. People want things, the results, too fast. But if you change very small things, Gerard, and this is my philosophy, small changes can yield big results. So the first thing I would do is stay away from foods high in glycemic index. What are those foods? White pasta, white rice, white baked potato, white bread. Instead, add color to your diet, multigrain, whole grain. That alone is going to make a difference. Stay away from sodas. If you have to drink soda or pop, then drink the diet because there are 0 calories. And most importantly, the fried foods and the unwanted calories and those sugary, stay away from them.
You know what, Dr. Ian, I shouldn't have had you on my show because I drink pop, I take big carbs in, you know what I'm saying? And you know what? I eat late at night. Hey, Dr. Ian Smith, hold on tight. Cardio, protein, carbs, resistance training. The doctor is making house calls tonight. Dr. Ian Smith is your personal diet consultant. Give us a call, 630-575-TALK. My Facebook and Twitter accounts are open. Send your questions. Garrard McClendon Live continues in a moment. Do you need a one-stop shop to physical health? www.driansmith.com gets you to the author of the 4-Day Diet. And he joins us tonight on Garrard McClendon Live. 630-575-TALK is the number if you have a question about your challenges. Dr. Ian Smith, thanks for sticking around. Before I go to phone calls, I do want to give you some compliments here. I'm on ShrinkingSisters.com, I think is the website. A young lady by the name of Paula, she says, I just began the 4-Day Diet on this past Monday. I am familiar with his Fat Smash programs and thought this would be perfect for my weight loss goals. She goes on to say, I am already down 4 pounds. I truly enjoy the emotional topics that are discussed in this book. That's a huge compliment, doctor.
Well, it is, and I'm very grateful for it. You know what? I tell you, when I read or hear those emails, it excites me because that's why I wrote the book. And hundreds of people every day email me and say, wow, I don't even feel like I'm on a diet. That's the greatest compliment. When someone says to me, I'm following the program, I'm losing weight, it doesn't feel like I'm on a diet.
Yeah, that's for real. Let me go to some phone calls. JANNITA, thanks for calling Garrard McClendon Live. You're on the line with Dr. Ian Smith. What's your comment?
Hi, Dr. Ian. Hi, Gerard. Great show.
Hello, thank you.
I just wanted to comment or ask Dr. Ian a question. My mother was 57, and she passed from undiagnosed hypertension and diabetes. So I know that losing weight will help decrease my risk factors. But I'm grieving. I'm in a grieving state, so my mental is not right. So I'm very glad that you said that you touched on the mental capacity in your book, and I can't wait to get it.
Yeah. Thank you so much, JANNITA. Dr. Smith, what do you have to say to that?
Well, you know, it's very important. In fact, in chapters 4 and 5, I talk about understanding what your triggers are. One reason people fail at diets, they start trying to lose weight at the wrong time. If you're grieving, you have relationship issues, financial problems, if you're already distracted, it's very tough to try to be focused to lose weight. So make sure it's the right time in your life. But also, it's important to understand, what are those triggers? Gerard, what's causing you to eat those unhealthy foods? Are you lonely? Are you depressed? Are you sad? Are you medicating your loneliness or your depression? That's very important. That's why the first half of the book, the motivational part and the mental part, is so critical and so different from other diet books.
Yeah, and you know, many times when you're trying to accomplish anything, it starts in the brain. It starts in the mind. You know, you have to have the determination, and in a grieving state as well, she may have to find other outlets. It could be exercise that allows her to release endorphins that can help her get through that state as well.
There you go.
Dr. Ian, I'm going to go back to the phones. I'm going to Nick. Thanks for calling Garrard McClendon Live. You're on the line, Nick. What's your
Hey,
comment?
how are you?
Excellent. What's your comment?
I was just calling to tell you I lost 15 pounds by just, not drinking pops, not eating late, stop eating fast food, trying to eat healthier, and it seemed to work out great for me. I feel better than ever.
That's excellent. You know what? What prompted you to stop drinking pop? Tell me.
You know what? It was hard for me. I always loved pop, but you know it was high in sugar, and I have high anxiety or high blood pressure, so you know it wasn't good for me. So you know I started on the just waters and juices.
Yeah. Hey Nick, thanks for the call. We appreciate you. Dr. Ian Smith, it seems like what you're preaching is working, my friend.
Well, here's the idea. You have to be realistic with people, first of all, and you got to realize, I believe that when you totally eliminate things from people's programs, they even want it more. So with the 4-day diet, we allow you to still have those things you enjoy, but to teach you how to make a compromise, to teach you how to take some of the unhealthy, mix it with the healthy, and you still don't give up the great taste and the flavors that you like.
Yeah, that's for real. Dr. Ian Smith, hold tight. I'm going to tell you about some of my secrets, man, when we come back. And still to come on tonight's show, Dr. Ian Smith answers more of your questions on the 4-day diet. Be thinner by Friday. The doctor will see you next. 630-575-TALK. Garrard McClendon Live will be back in a moment.